What's up? My name is Aaron. I am the worship director for V1 Church, and I'm going to talk to you today about all the things you will need to know to get started in worship bass guitar. Number one, the gear. Some of you might love it, some of you might hate it, some of you might not know anything about it, but it's important. So one thing to know with gear is there's a very broad spectrum. There's a very broad spectrum of opinions, and it's very important to not ever get lost in just the endless pursuit of tone. There's a million people that will tell you a million different things. Just know that if you get a basic setup that works for you, you're ready to go. But there's some important things to know, and here's some tips that I have learned along the way. So first thing you'll need is a bass guitar. So this is my main bass guitar, and even though I play a lot, this is actually a Squier bass guitar, and I paid a whopping $385 for this guitar. So for around $400 you can get a lot of guitar. I upgraded the pickups in this to sound a little more to my liking, but even the stock ones sounded great. This is a passive bass guitar, meaning that there is no battery compartment in it, and you don't need to charge it or anything. It's got two knobs, a volume and a tone, and then the input jack. It's so simple, but it sounds so good no matter what genre that I play, and I highly recommend it. There's also jazz basses from Fender, and there's so many other types of basses. For modern worship music, I do recommend staying in the passive realm because the tone does fit that genre better. But there's a lot of different options out there. Just know that you don't have to go crazy and spend $3,000 to get a good bass. Next up are pedals. Now, this may look a little daunting if you're new to this, but you don't have to go this crazy. This is my pedal board. I've added a lot of stuff to it because I love pedals. I like having different tools to use for different situations, like an octave pedal, an overdrive pedal, my compressor, but really there's one that's very important, which is this pedal right here. This is called a DI, a bass DI box, which is direct injection. Sometimes they're called bass preamps, and it's basically an amplifier and a pedal. And what's important about it is it has this output right here, which is an XLR output. That means with just this pedal, you can go directly into a PA system or a soundboard, and that's all you'll need to get started. There's tons of different controls on this one, which is made by Walrus Audio. It's called a Badwater preamp, but there's tons of different ones. Aguilar makes a good one called the Tone Hammer. That one's incredible. And then there's many other. Ampeg makes one too. So, but really all you need to get started is this. This is about $230 on sale, sometimes it's $260, but it's a great deal and a great pedal. That's all you need to get started. As you grow, you can add a tuner if you want to be able to tune on the fly really easily, and a compressor, which just helps with a lot of different stuff. But know that this is the main pedal you need to get started, and as you expand and learn, you add more stuff to your arsenal. Okay, you have your gear now. Next step is actually joining a worship team and playing with a team. I'm going to talk about two really important things. The first one is going to be unity. Now, unity is very important in just your life as a Christian, but in music it plays a really special role. Unity meaning that like you as a musician are doing everything you can to unify yourself with not only the team you're playing with, but the church that you're in, as well as the songs that you play. So what would make something not be unified? Not being unified was you be playing a Bethel song that's modern and has an aggressive bass sound to it, and you just slapping the whole time because you prefer it. What that would do, it would take away from the sound of the song, it would take away from the cohesiveness of the sound of the band, and it would add a style that's not appropriate for that moment. So unity means that you put aside your personal preferences and you focus on what the need is. Because remember, we're not in a band. We are servants. We're serving the house that we're in. So in my church, we play a lot of modern worship music, but also some gospel stuff. And based on the genre that we're in, I'm going to adapt my playing style and my sound to benefit the team, the church, and the song that I'm playing. So it's really important to be humble and make sure that you are not just doing things that you want to do, but you're doing things that grow your team, benefit your team, and add to the sound of that Sunday. So unity is so important with playing bass. The second thing is the number system. So the Nashville number system, you may have heard about it, you may have not. If you haven't heard about it, the Nashville number system is basically assigning numbers to the notes in a key. So, you only have 7 notes available. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. That's it. And in those, there's sharps and flats, but you add numbers to them based off the key. And once you learn the patterns of those numbers and how they relate to the key, you no longer have to think about a song, I just need to play the B or the E or the D or whatever your key you're playing in, right? They're playing the key of F, they're calling numbers, so F is the 1, B flat's the 4, so on and so forth. What this does is it allows you to fluidly play in any key as long as you know what that number system is. So take some time to watch videos about it, to understand it, to learn it. What it's going to do is it's going to open up doors for you to not only play with more successful teams, because the biggest teams in the world all use the number system when they flow, but it'll open more pathways for you to play more complicated, unique styles with more ease. So the number system, learn it, use it. Lastly, I just wanted to say that the most important part about all of this is that you know that you're a servant of God before you're anything else. Playing bass is super fun. There's so many different avenues you can take in the world of bass guitar playing. It's not a super simple instrument like people say it is. You could be aggressive, you could have soft tones, you could get into gospel playing with different riffs and runs and all sorts of stuff. But in everything we do, we serve the vision of the church that we're in. So whatever leader is over you, you're serving the vision that the Lord gave them for the sound of your church. I'm not putting my personal preference in there, but my personal character comes through it. So I'm taking what I like and the sounds that I've been able to develop and what makes me unique and the stuff that God gave me, and I'm blending it with what that church needs and what that team needs in the moment. So it's not that I'm completely removing everything that makes me me as a bass player, is I'm adapting those things to serve the church and to serve the team that I'm on. If you can learn these things, I guarantee you'll be on your way to being a very successful and demanded bass player in the worship music realm.